Welcome to StaarCast, a show about tarot, divination, and all things mystical. StaarCast is a celebration of Starcon, the Southeastern Tarot Artist and Readers Conference. I'm Amy Mauser, and here's your host, Christiana Gaudet.
I'm Christiana Gaudet. Welcome to StaarCast. With me today is Kristine Gorman. Kristine, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I had the pleasure of meeting you at NEWTS, the Northwest Tarot Symposium in 2018. And I'm going to get right into it. You know, the thing that impressed me about you and that caused me to reach out to you right away to ask you to be a presenter at StaarCon was this amazing painting that you had done. And you were in the vendors hall, which if you've ever been to NEWTS, the vendors hall, the exhibition hall is an amazing place. You were there and I saw this picture that was very clearly Rachel Pollack, one of the tarot mothers of us all, and just this beautiful, beautiful picture. And I was drawn right to it and therefore drawn to meet you. And then you shared with me that this picture is the world card.
Yes.
You used Rachel to illustrate the world. So the first thing I want to ask you is this a deck? Is it a one-off, Rachel Pollack as the world, or did you make a deck, or are you making a deck?
I am making a deck. I am an oil painter, so I'm not, hopping on an iPad and sketching something out. I love oil paint, so it takes a long time. So yes, I am in the middle of making a deck, and Rachel is my world card in my deck. The Consigliere Tarot.
Say the name again?
The Consigliere Tarot.
And can you tell us what that means?
It is the Calabrian, Sicilian, and mafia term for counselor to the Godfather. And so that's just kind of what it's all about. My ancestors are from Calabria, and I just have always, my husband made this poem about me, and it was the consigliere in coveralls. So I'm always in painted overalls, yet I'm the counselor to everyone. And he's got this whole Italian mafia look sometimes. And so it just fit. And that's what it is.
Wow. Yeah. And so you are a tarot reader. You're a professional tarot reader.
Yes.
And you're also an artist. And for those of you who are watching the video, you can see behind you all of these beautiful paintings. And I'm going to ask you to show the Rachel Pollack in just a moment.
Oh, yeah.
We're building up to that. And one of the things I'm going to want to speak with you about today is sort of how cool it is that you are both a professional reader and a professional artist. In the tarot world, we have a lot of readers and we have a lot of artists, but not that many who are both. And I have so many questions for you.
Let me just tell you straight up, it's the same muscle for me.
Ooh.
So I am an intuitive painter. I'm an intuitive reader. And so as much as I so love the academic readers that can inform me on symbology and the history of all kinds of things, right? That's not my nature. I live in this very abstract place. So I can pluck information. I can, I just see things, right? I'm known as Visionary Woman Tarot, right? So I'm just a visual person. And so that's kind of where I'm at. That's why... it's the perfect mix of who I am. And then for me to say, let's combine them and have this deck that I'm producing is like the happy trifecta of harmony when things all meet and align. And it took me a long time to figure out what kind of medium I wanted to use and what the look was. And I thought for a long time, what is my theme, And then I laughed. I was like, I don't use a theme. I don't go in order. This is my own life story or impressions of universal truths, right? That's archetypal images. It's the definition, right? So that's how,
wow.
That's just who I am.
That is fabulous. So let me ask, do you have other people who are known to us that will be pictured in this deck beyond Rachel?
Nope.
Rachel's the only one.
She's the only one.
Why Rachel, and why Rachel is the world?
Well, let's start with Rachel. I consider Rachel my tarot midwife. I feel that she helped me birth the epiphany of becoming the reader or the way that I read. And almost like allowance, permission, mind blown. I can do it however I want. Now, I have years of traditional study.
Mm-hmm.
I honor my, elders who came before. I feel like that's super vital, right? But everybody's tarot journey is their own. But it was, as I pointed out before, academically, that might not be my strong suit. Structure, I just don't like it. But I tried so hard when I started to learn tarot to kind of be the good student, and I did have focus, and it was easier than other things because it just fell in, the information. But Rachel's words, I absorbed them like, vitamin C, it just poof. And so I did live in New York at the time. And so I was able to go up to her house for some little gatherings that she would have, tarot on the Hudson, right? And this is how the Big Bang happened. And so I completely honor her for that. And so for the world card can mean a teacher to me. Mm. It can mean this beginning, this end, this new way, this all, taking this information from all these different places. And so I kind of, had this vision, and I called her up and I was like, oh my God, can you be my world card? Like, is that okay? Like, oh my God. And she was like, that would be great. Thank you, And it just wasn't, it wasn't like a big thing. And then all of a sudden it came out, and it was a big thing. Because it's not only am I honoring a teacher and a hero of mine, right? A tarot hero, but I was able to express it in my own way with my own vision. And so this has, when you feel like the universe is just kind of guiding you, just got its hand on your back a little bit, man, everything fell into place, and it's all very exciting.
So beautiful. So can you show us, first of all, that painting that drew me to you? And for those, oh man, that is so beautiful. That is as beautiful as it was the first time I saw it. So for those people who are listening to the podcast, can you describe this? Describe what I'm looking at.
Sure. Well, I have the traditional wreath, although it's very, the detail shot of it. It's a very close-up shot. Mm-hmm. But I also kind of took from those, 14th, 15th century cards where the world is actually in her head.
Right.
There's all these little city, little buildings and stuff like that. But she also has the Torah in her hair.
The Torah is in her hair.
Yeah. So, everybody knows Rachel is just the expert on all that is, Jewish mysticism and just history in general. So I felt like that represented her really well. And it turns out I painted the portrait many times with Rachel's actual glasses, and it just wasn't, I just wanted something more. And so I actually subconsciously put the same shaped glasses that I have on Rachel.
I was noticing that. I was wondering what's up with that.
And so it's really funny
because she actually uses.
Right. But they're fun because you have to remember that Rachel's fun, and she's going to mix it up, and she's going to pull things out of everywhere. Right. And so I thought that would be cute and funny. But after I painted the portrait, and it's all subconscious, right? A big laugh when I realized it. I used the shape of glasses to kind of sometimes in my marketing. And so it just has become a kind of a sign for me, this glasses.
Interesting.
I know. So it all happened all at the same time where I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, okay. There you go.
Okay. Well, that is just beautiful. And I love her eyes. You really got Rachel's eyes there. Now, many people have already seen this picture because it made it to the cover of the Cartomancer.
Yeah.
And
it's so exciting.
Was this your first time being a cover artist?
And on this scale, yes.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. The rendering of it is perfect. And
it's really very exciting. And again, the serendipity that takes place throughout all of this is that Rachel turned 75 this summer. And so the whole thing was about happy birthday, Rachel. Rachel's excited that she's a cover girl at 75. And they have this, spread in the middle of the magazine with all of these quotes from all of these amazing people in the tarot community, thanking Rachel and gushing about Rachel in completely appropriate ways to say, thank you, happy birthday. And so it really was this way to honor her in just the most magical way.
So beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah.
So which came first for you, art or tarot?
I was a jock. And I got in a car accident and I wasn't able to run. They told me I was not able to run. And so I found my art.
Okay.
And so art came first.
Okay.
And it was like this thing that you dive in a pool, all of a sudden I'm submerged with all of this stuff. And I guess in the process of losing structure, right? Not fitting in, not all of that. That's how I found tarot.
Wow. That's quite a journey.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
I mean, if you're not doing that, then you're clearly, you're not thriving, right? It's you gotta not be embarrassed about the marks, right?
Right. So you are a professional artist. Do you do art professionally outside of the metaphysical world?
Yeah. I do koi fish, right? Which is my abstract work. So it's abstract koi paintings.
Nice.
But I also do, still lifes and portraits and stuff like that.
Very good. And you're also a professional tarot reader.
Yep. I own the Tarot Art Tattoo Gallery in Sonoma, California. And it's just, I have this beautiful reading room, with all my stuff, a painting studio. And so that's my work, right? So I'm reading and I'm painting and I'm reading and painting and reading and painting. And those are my days.
All in the same place. And now, if I remember right, your husband is the tattoo artist. Is that right?
Yeah. So he's tattooing and painting and tattooing and painting. I'm reading and painting, reading and painting. So we're constantly creating something all the time.
Yeah. That's a beautiful story. So I have to ask then, COVID.
Yeah.
How has the pandemic affected your business?
It's shut down. It's shut down.
Okay.
We are closed. So closed since March. In July, we opened for 2 weeks and then we were shut down again.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And now, fear of tattooing and ignorance about tattooing has made us last on the list for people to be accepted and be open. So you have nail salons open, right, and, hair salons and all kinds of petri dishes open, and we're not, and we're like working in sterile conditions,
Right.
There are ways that we can go about one person at a time. And we have all the nice things that they want you to have. Hand sanitizer, phone sanitizer, taking your temperature, all of that. And when we were open, we're in wine country, right? So I get these calls like of people flying in from, wherever, recklessly drinking, saying, I want these little tattoos. And we're just like, no, even when we were open, like, no, it's not happening. We would do clients, our own clients, just one, but now we're shut down.
And so you're still doing readings, I assume, on Zoom?
Yep.
And how's that go?
It's great. I love it. I mean, I really do. I think that it's wonderful. So people go, wow, you can do that on Zoom, maybe people that don't really have experience with tarot readers or whatever. But, I've had a FM radio show for over 7 years. So it's like, you don't need to touch my cards. I don't need to see you. I can just throw on a phone, whatever. So.
And so you're still doing your radio show. Tell us about that.
That's shut down too.
Really?
Yeah, they're just playing old shows now. And all my shows are on a podcast. It's Visionary Woman Tarot Radio Show. You can find it at Apple Podcasts. Okay. But yeah, I would do complimentary readings for anyone who called into the show. And so that is my way of being available without charge for people who need, a reading. They need a question answered. And so it's really funny, it's the Shotsie and Kristine show for sure, because my husband does the sound and we're just ridiculous and amazing all at the same time. Mm-hmm. But it's just they're monitoring how many people are in the radio station and they just don't want a lot of people in because they can't afford to clean it every time somebody comes and goes. So that's on COVID pause too.
Okay. But you have been giving live readings to people nonetheless, haven't you?
That's right. So on Instagram, that's #VisionaryWomanTarot. I do a live 3-card reading. Sometimes 3-card readings turn into 6, but that's okay. And I think it's a good reflection of what's happening. Mm-hmm. Also, it's validating so people don't feel like they're going crazy. Right. Because this is a reflection of what's happening. Don't feel crazy. This is the big picture, that kind of stuff. So I'm actually, reading on current events and kind of evolution milestones.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Absolutely. So I have to ask, since you are an artist and you are creating a deck, mm-hmm. Once your deck is published, do you plan on having that be your primary reading deck?
Oh, yeah. That's why another reason why it's taken me so long. Now, I only really use one deck to read.
And what is that?
And that's Cat Black's Golden Tarot.
Oh, such a good deck. So
good. I mean, as an intuitive reader, it's just chock full of yummy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the best tool ever. I mean, I collect old decks and antique decks, but this is the only one I use as a reader. So making my own deck, it's got to be fabulous. It's got to be better than this deck, It's got to work for me, So it's like I'm the first judge with a really high standard, Yeah.
So good. So good. So we are, of course, really looking forward to StaarCon, and we understand with COVID, we'll be making an announcement at the end of September as to whether we can, in 2021, meet in person or if it will be virtual. One way or the other, it will be fabulous. And one of the reasons it will be fabulous is you will be there. Yeah. Can you give us a little hint about what you might be presenting?
Okay. So in conferences, I feel that there's so much good information out there that sometimes it's a little, wow, I'm really thinking all weekend long kind of thing. So I like to kind of mix it up a bit and get a very interactive kind of experience, really. It's a hand-on experience. So you don't need anything, you don't have to bring anything to the workshop. And it is, I have these cards, I mix them all together. They're all kinds of various things. And it is, triggering your own intuition through a method to make a mantra for yourself and tells you and reflects where you are right now. What do you need to put on that Post-it on the bathroom mirror to remind yourself? And it's super fun and fantastic. And I call it mantra managed.
Beautiful.
Because I am a Harry Potter fan, and mischief managed just seems to be in my family vocab. So mantra managed just kind of works, and it's amazing. I think Amy Mauser was in my workshop last time, so she can tell you it's based on that loosely, but it's evolved.
Oh, wonderful!
So it's about you, right? And that's the thing. Sometimes you need a little bit of that for fluidity when your brain is trying to absorb so much good stuff.
Sure.
You need a bit of a break. You need a bit of tell me about myself. I want to feel good. I want to remind myself where I'm at, or what do I need as my probiotic? What do I need to help me get through, right? And so that's what that's all about.
That is so great. So when we talk about conferences, either in person or online, as you say, it's an awful lot of information. At StaarCon, we have some very specific missions. One is honoring our artists. Yeah. Another is presenting a wide variety of tools and topics. What do you think is most important for you when you're a conference attendee? What do you look for?
I want somebody that dorks out on a specific thing and knows so much about it that they're going to be able to help me digest it and absorb it without the study that is kind of hard for me to do, And so I have, Mel Parsons at BATS. She talked about Pamela Coleman Smith years ago. That was so wonderful. And you have, I guess I could go through them all, right? But I appreciate the academics, the numerology, symbology, that's their thing. And they come in and share it. Bennabelle Wen, right? The way that she can break something down. I really appreciate that.
She is one of our headliners, along with Mary Greer.
But it's like a digestive enzyme, help me break it down, because I am not going to open that book up, but I want to know about it. And so 100%. That's why I love them.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So I am so excited to be able to share you with everyone at StaarCon.
Thank you.
Before we say goodbye, I want to do two things. First, I do want to ask you to tell people how they can find you, your website, mention your Instagram handle again. Do that first.
Okay. Well, I have an old website, Tarot Art Tattoo. You can definitely.com. You can definitely find me there. I have a new website coming, and that's Kristine Gorman Tarot, but it's not up yet. But Instagram, #VisionaryWomanTarot. You can also find me on Facebook, Visionary Woman Tarot with Kristine Gorman. If you Google Tarot Sonoma, I'm going to come up.
Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your tarot cards.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So this is what I'm asking all the tarot people, the tarot readers that I'm interviewing for StaarCast. We're closing with a reading where we're each going to focus our energy on StaarCon and pull one card and interpret it in terms of what we're looking forward to, what we can expect, everything that StaarCon will be for us. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see.
9 of Swords.
Okay, go ahead.
This is fantastic.
Okay.
Right? Because what is it going to bring? It's going to, bring down the inflammation of that wound that we all have, right? The stress, the anxiety of the, 2020 as in real time, right? I mean, this is the reality of what's happening.
We're all there, right?
People are not sleeping. They're not,
right.
Feed me something good, right? So that's what that can be, because you can't ignore it.
Right.
It's just actually what's happening. And so you can't sugarcoat it either.
Right.
And so what is it going to bring? It's going to, soothe down that inflammation. So it's an anti-inflammatory. That's my reading.
I love that. And I got the Chariot, which I think is interesting because, we're not sure if people are actually going to be able to travel or not, but one way or the other, we will travel together.
Yeah, but also, Chariot brings a lot of good energy to it, right?
It does.
So, it's hosing down, right? So it's not just a sprinkle. This is a hose.
Well, and, we put those two cards together and we say, you know what? Having survived 2020, in January, the very beginning of 2021, we're going to be able to come together as a community to celebrate all these things that we love.
And deal with the inflammation.
And heal the inflammation, yes. And, another one of my keywords for Chariot is mastery. And the idea that people who are masters of all of these things will be here, and everyone will be able to take their mastery to another level. So it's going to be about
but also evenly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Evenly. So it's like, your needs will be met.
Absolutely. So tickets for StaarCon are available now on the StaarCon webpage. That's StaarCon.com. Get your tickets. We want to see you there one way or the other. And Kristine Gorman, I cannot thank you enough for spending this time with me on StaarCast, and we will look forward to seeing you in January.
Thank you so much, Christiana.
Thanks for joining us for StaarCast. For more information about our annual conference, visit us online at starcon.com. That's StaarCon.com. We are looking forward to seeing you in January.